Hey, how's it going, everybody? Want to make a video as I'm drinking my slightly colder coffee about believing in something. As I get older, I realize that I grew up believing in fairy tales, fables, and myths about some man that believed, that lived in a completely different culture. He was surrounded by a different way of life, mostly an agrarian lifestyle. And his forefathers, I remember reading about them. I remember believing in them. I remember calling out to that God, even though for 20 something years of my life I wasn't worshiping that God as I should have, as it's written of in the Old Testament. Right? And so I was brought up, right, believing, slightly adopting a culture that didn't pertain to me, because I found out later, when I was 27 years old, I believe, that I was that I was Germanic, I was Celtic, and as well as other flavors there, other cultures. And so the Middle Eastern Hebraic culture that I once clinged to wasn't who I was. And that God wasn't my God at all. And I also realized many other things that you may or may not be interested in. But that belief system kept me from doing a lot of things that I desired to do, as well as a lot of things that I could have done that would have placed me in a worse situation than I currently am in now. So evaluate your belief system. Find out who in the hell you are. And I'm talking about what your culture is. What culture have you lost because of the melting pot that is that is taught in and to us in public schools, and even in private schools? Diversity is great. It's good. But find out who you are. Find out your culture. Find out what you used to stand for as a people, because over a period of time, everyone loses their sense of identity, their true sense. We lose, in Christianity, we lose the connection with our forefathers. We lose our ancient beliefs. Thanks to Daddy Charlemagne, or King Charlemagne, he converted many by the use of the sword, just like Muhammad. And so that fear, that it's just like dragons, how even in the Celtic cultures today, in the Germanic cultures, we still have that fear of dragons. The majority of us do, right? Just like most people fear the serpent. And so To believe in something is important, but you need to research who you are. Save your money, do a DNA test. There's a DNA company that's a simple company, but they're not going to abuse and use your DNA like other companies do. It's called DNA Research or something like that. It's a guy named Jarvis. He's the guy that runs it. He does one of the most securest DNA tests. Of course, you're going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay for that level of security and privacy. And so I did this test, and I found out that number one was on the list was Dutch, right? Or Frisian, right? Is what they used to call them. So that's number one, right? And then number two, mostly in like the UK area, Welsh and all that stuff, Scotland, and a few others. You know what I mean? But you need to find out who you are. Find out what your forefathers used to believe prior to Christianity. And that's hard as hell to do. But at the same time, believe in what you see. Like Thomas, a lot of preachers like, they say they discourage that. They discourage the idea, the doctrinal brainwashing of, you must have faith, you must have blind faith. Yeah, that's a cult technique, doctrine to keep you hooked and to keep you within the cult of Christianity. And so, and if you're a Christian, hey, more power to you. If you think that that's who you are, if you think you're a Hebrew, you're a wannabe Jew, if you think, you're a big time Christian, that's great. The history's out there in order for you to educate yourself to who you really are. But if you want to take on and believe a religion that was developed by the son of an idol maker, the son that was an idol maker, Abraham, and it's been bastardized. That religion has been bastardized. But anyway, importance is believe in something. Believe in something, whether it be of your people or of someone else's people, but believe in something.